conditional probability is used to determine how two events are related. That is, we can determine the probability of one event given the occurrence of other related event. Okay. So, for example, we conduct the experiment. So, the experiment is to select a student randomly in the class. Okay. So, for example, so randomly select a student is a male student. Okay. So, it is one experiment. So, for example, if you want to check conditional probability, the conditional probability will be given like this. So, randomly select the student is male and student is on third row. Okay. So now what happens here, you no need to consider the complete sample space. Okay. So now we will be considering the sample space. Now the sample space will be shrink to third row only. Okay. Whereas in the previous case, you see here, probability of what is the probability of randomly selected student is male. So in that case, number of male students divided by total number of class strength. That gives you what is the probability of selecting a student is male. Okay. Now what is that given? So randomly select a student is male given that the student is on third row. Okay. It means that, okay. Now here you no need to consider the complete sample space. Now we will be considering only the third row, number of students in the third row. Okay, that will be the denominator. Number of students, male students in the third row will be the numerator. Okay, so that is the intersection of the numerator and denominator will be the numerator. So how many elements you get by intersecting the male students intersection third row, that will be the numerator, and number of students in the third row will be the denominator. Okay, so the conditional probabilities are written as p of a given b, and it is given it is it can be read as the probability of a given b and is calculated as like this: p of a given b is equal to what? Probability of a intersection b by probability of b, such that probability of b is not equal to 0. So whenever we are finding conditional probability, we have to take care such that probability, what is the denominator we are getting, probability of denominator should not be equal to 0. Is it clear? So now you see here. So here, where the occurrence of one event affects the happening of following event. Okay. So when you are finding A given B, the occurrence of A, okay, means if affects the occurrence of A affects the occurrence of B. Okay. So these cases of probability is known as conditional probability. Okay. So probability of occurrence of any event A when other event B in relation to A has already occurred is known as conditional probability. Okay. So we are finding probability of occurrence of A where B is already occurred, then it is known as conditional probability. So see this Venn diagram here. Okay. So whenever we are finding conditional probability, now we no need to consider the complete sample space. Okay. See here the sample space is given by S where there are two events A and B. Okay. So in a situation B has already occurred, what is given here, B is already occurred, then our sample space S naturally gets reduced to B. Now you no need to consider the sample space because B is already occurred. So natural sample space will reduce to B now. Okay. So instead of taking number of samples, okay, number of elements in the sample space, we will be considering what are the number of elements, how many number of elements we have in B, because now the chance of occurrence of an event will lie inside B. Okay. So as we have to figure out the chance of occurrence of event A, only the portion common to both A and B, this we have already discussed. Okay. So chance of occurrence of A only in the portion common to both A and B is enough to represent the probability of occurrence of A when B is already occurred. Okay. Common portion of event is represented by intersection of two events A and B. Okay. So it is represented as A intersection B. Okay. So here, whenever we are finding probability of A given B, so whenever we want to find here, we will be checking occurrence of A only in the portion that is A intersection B. In that portion only we will be checking. Okay. And we have to remember that now sample space will be reduced to B. Now you no need to consider the complete sample space. Now sample space is reduced to B. So this explains the concept of conditional probability problems. That is occurrence of any event when other event in relation to this has already occurred. Okay. So what is probability of A given B? Probability of A given that B is already occurred. Okay. So this also we have discussed in the last class. Probability of A given B is equal to, how do we write? Number of elements in A intersection B divided by number of elements in B, where probability of A given B represents probability of occurrence of A given B has already occurred. Okay. So what is N of A intersection B? It is number of elements common to both A and B. N of B is what? It is number of elements in B. It is not equal to 0. What is one more condition here? Whenever we are finding probability of A given B, what is the condition here is number of elements in the B should not be equal to 0. Okay. So that the probability will not be equal to 0. Okay. And let N represents the total number of elements in the sample space. So probability of A given B is given as number of elements in A intersection B divided by N divided by number of elements in B divided by and total number of elements. Okay. So this numerator, what is this numerator? It will gives us probability of A intersection B. This denominator gives us probability of B. Okay. So here number of elements in A intersection B by N, number of elements in B divided by N denotes the ratio of number of favorable outcomes to the total number of outcomes. Therefore, it indicates, what is this indicates? It indicates probability of A intersection B. Similarly, this number of elements in B divided by N indicates probability of B. So, what is probability of A given B now can be written as probability of A intersection B by probability of B. Similarly, the probability of occurrence of B when A has already occurred is given by P of B given A will be equal to probability of B intersection A divided by probability of A. Okay, here you know that A intersection B is equal to B intersection A. So probability of B given A is also can be written as probability of A intersection B divided by probability of A. Okay, so from this equation, we can find out what is probability of A intersection B will be equal to from the previous equation. From this equation, we know that, okay, what is probability will be equal to probability of A intersection B will be equal to probability of probability of A given B. Okay, what is the condition here? Probability of B should not be equal to 0. Is it clear? So similarly, from this equation, probability of A intersection B is given as probability of A into probability of B given A. So what is that condition here? The condition is probability of A is not equal to, it is not equal to B. So these two equations are called multiplication law of probability. Okay, so this we have discussed in the last class. Okay, so so that we know that intersection, what is intersection means, and in the set theory, so when probability of A and B is nothing but probability of A intersection B is equal to probability of A into probability of B given A, and it is also equal to probability of B into probability of A given B. Both are true. Okay, and what is that? What is probability of A given B? Last class we have discussed here. It is A given B. This B will be in the denominator. B given A, A will be in the denominator. So probability of A and B divided by probability of B. For probability of A given B, probability of B given A will be equal to probability of A and B by probability of A. Is it clear, students? Any doubts here? Hello, students.
No, ma'am.